Today, we are taking a slow, relaxed drive through one of Manchester's true hidden gems. We are turning into Russell Place Gardens, located just outside of Mandeville, in the quiet, scenic area of Williamsfield. Now, if you are looking to relocate, to invest, or to build a permanent sanctuary here on the island, this is an area that absolutely needs to be in your radar. Put on your seatbelts, roll down your windows, and let's get going on this breathtaking cruise.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan. Pick up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. And we're going to be taking you into this Russell Place. And remember, it is not the same place as Russell Place Meadows that we've shown you before. This is Russell Place Gardens. Both of them are Russell Place, and they're just back to back in their set out and their layout and where they're located. And we will talk you through it so that you have an idea. So let's get going on this tour of Russell Place Gardens. As we cross into Russell Place Gardens, the very first thing that hits you, and I mean literally wraps around you, is the profound peace and tranquility. If you are coming from a bustling city, or if you've spent years navigating the fast pace of the UK, the USA, or Canada, the quiet here is a breath of fresh air. You don't hear the roar of the road, and instead, you get the rustle of the wind through the hills and the bird songs. It has the distinct, laid-back Manchester charm, where the air is noticeably cooler and the pace of life just settles down beautifully. Let's talk about the actual layout of this community, because the way it has been structured is incredibly generous. Historically, these areas were developed with a real sense of space in mind, and that legacy is obvious the moment you look at the boundary lines. We aren't looking at tightly packed homes in a scheme here. The plot sizes in Russell Place Gardens are expansive. You will regularly find lots here spanning anywhere from 13,000 to well over 15,000 square feet. That is roughly a third of an acre or more per property. Just look at the spaces that you see between these residences as we're going by. With land parcels of this scale, homeowners have the ultimate flexibility. It gives you the privacy you want, but it also opens up massive potential for residential development. Whether you want a large kitchen, a large garden to grow your own organic fruit, a spacious multi-car garage, or an architectural design that spreads out rather than cramming upward, you have the square footage to make it happen. We are also seeing an influx in savvy investors purchasing up unfinished or older structures here for around $12 to $15 million, transforming them into modern multi-unit apartment complexes or bespoke private family estates. Because of the layout, even when a property is extended, the community never feels overcrowded. Now, a question I get asked all the time by people researching this specific corridor is, what is the difference between Russell Place Gardens and Russell Place Meadows? We've showcased Russell Place Meadows on here before. It's a brilliant question because the two properties sit right alongside each other, but they carry quite distinct vibes and configurations. Whilst both share an exceptional location just moments away from the newly extended highway, which makes travel to Kingston an absolute breeze, they cater to slightly different preferences. Now, Russell Place Meadows tend to feature beautifully established, expansive, multi-bedroom completed family homes. Think grand 4 bedrooms, 3 bathroom setups with automatic garage and highly manicured finish aesthetics. The Meadows feels very much like an established premium residential enclave. Russell Place Gardens, on the other hand, offers an incredible blend of established homes alongside a wealth of raw potential. It is a dream configuration for anyone looking to build, customize, or execute an investment project. In the gardens, you will see architectural design projects still in progress, giving the neighborhood a dynamic, evolving feel. Both communities' layout present a bit more variance in topography, offering stunning elevated positions that captivate panoramic views of the surrounding Manchester valleys. ultimately, whether you lean towards the polished charm of the meadows or the massive potential and slightly larger lot variations here in the gardens, this is entirely up to you, because this entire Russell Place pocket represents some of the finest, safest, and most peaceful real estate Manchester has to offer. If you are planning your own return to the island or looking to build a rental community in a highly accessible growth corridor, you simply cannot overlook this spot. It was a pleasure driving through Russell Place Gardens with you today. So let me know in the comment section below, could you see yourself building your dream hideaway on one of these spacious lots? Let us know, because we would like to hear from you if this is your spot. And if we haven't found your spot yet, then go back and have a look at some of the neighborhoods that we've already driven through, or look forward to some of the ones that we will be showcasing shortly. So somebody is in exam time and they had some time today to relax and doll up themselves a bit. This is a redo your hair. You have to go teach me how to do barrel. So what is the one name? Or I just sketch up it? A pineapple one. A pine. Oh. Well, why you call so? Because it looks like a pineapple. Oh. Oh, the top of a pineapple. That's what it's called. I don't know what it's called. It looked like the top of a pineapple when you know how you look with it. Tension. Oh, for reduce the tension for your hair. Okay. So your edges them look sleek, and then I look you know how sometimes in a place and it's wet and you get and you know the whitey when you look nice at the moment. Yeah. So how you feeling after today? Ready for tomorrow exams? No? What you have tomorrow? In the morning I have to give in a graded assignment at 8:30 after the duties. And then at like after 9 I have chemistry paper 2. Then after lunch I have French paper 1. Okay. I'm fine with French. I just wish it was first. Chemistry was last. Okay. Why? You concerned about chemistry? Why? I don't know why they keep putting the irritating exams first. Like, why can't I have that last? Why? What concern you have about it? It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's the teacher. I don't know what she's going to put on it, and most of the time, how she writes a question doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. To you when you're reading it. Okay. To anybody. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, then that's fine. But you're prepared otherwise. So I'm hoping that she either had assistance in making the test paper, or she just used exam questions. Because I have some saved that I was going to read on yesterday. So hopefully. Okay. So all the things that are within your control, you've addressed. You can't address that the part that are not your control. Over solubility graph. Okay. Yeah. And then that's it. All right. You know you've got this, right? You've got this, man. Handled legitimately. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to leave you to go back since you come do your discovery of your eureka moment. Say light is on our dark corridor. Yeah, so now you can go do what you do. Yeah? All right, then later. Bye. I was sitting right here where I'm standing, having a fruit, and I got up to throw the seed behind me under this tree. And then I see something that give me a shock. I couldn't believe it. Because I've been watching the vine and I'm like, the sun from the other day beating down on it. It looked almost like it dried down and nothing I'm going for it again. But when I got up and saw this, let me show you what I want to see. May I tell you? And it looked like it's the only one on it, but I did see some flowers before upon it, so I knew that it would bear. But because of the heat from the sun with the have already, I saw it looking with quail and looking like it just limping and on the last leg of living. I thought that it was just giving up, but it did not give up. Just like me never did quit for my project, it never give up neither for life. So as I had mentioned previously, I had bought one and threw it out, and somehow one of the seed catch, and now look what they've done. At least me get one. Uh-huh. One. At least me get one. So I'm going to pick it and wash it and eat it right here. So for those people who thinking, Eliona won't mind me eating it without her because I know I'm something what she particularly like. So there we go. We have it. I'm so happy that I got something from it because I don't even spend the time to plant these things. I just throw them out. I just throw them and let nature do their thing. So now I've got this and I'm going to wash it and indulge. The one I actually spent some time on, well, my father spent lots of time on it. Me just did have the seed and get them ready and then come and plant them and take care of it. And we've been monitoring it. That one was the pumpkin and the goat them. Oh my gosh. As soon as we see one pumpkin come on, Tony, we'll go back, he gone. But the goat them either shake you off or eat you off. Because when them a pull the vine for itty, the fruit where they near this so just shake off. And when them see the fruit, them indulge. So and then of course we'd have one whoop of rain at the start of it, which affected it because apparently it don't like rain, whole heap of rain. And then afterwards we had a whole heap of dry spell, the drought, and that again affected it because it likes the middle ground of those two things. But we still have some vine running around. When I say we harvest one the other day, and now one next vine have one penny, and we're just looking to see how some of the others that we've spot what they will come to, and hopefully they'll come to something so that we can have it. But homesteading is something that is fascinating for me, and it's something that I'm contemplating. But may I work on one project at a time. When we done this one, we can move on to thinking about that in a little bit more detail. So I've managed to break it. It looks like that. So it has some seeds in there that looks like, they're seeding. That's actually good. Some mature seeds in there. So I can say I actually got a harvest from it, even if it's just one, because I threw it out and it grew and I got one. I just got in hot from a lot of errand running, getting stuff and bringing them home early in the morning, yeah. And I came home to some gifts. So I just share them with you. So I have some yams from my father, and he did bring me some bumpy banana. And I have some other banana and some avocado. I had 2 avocado the other day. I ate them and they were my first for the season. And now I get some more. Other than the fact that I had a slice to begin with. And then I had 2 whole one. And now these are my next set for the season. So it's all going yummy, yummylicious right here. And I also get some jelly. If you want one new color one, I haven't had this color before. And I have some mangoes and pineapple as well. So yeah, I'm getting there step by step. I had some mangoes the other day as well. I had to share up some mangoes and some Ethiopian apples with some other people because you can't just possess them up, then we go off, then we spoil. So you have to just share them up with people. So that is exactly what I did. I'm gonna get some more now. So I'm going to go and put some of them together and make myself a breakfast and have an ice lolly for cool first to cool me down because all I want me running around for a morning. I bust a whole heap of sweat right now. So I clock in my workout at the same time. So I'm going to get myself sorted out. Ice lolly first, then some fruits, and then jump back on the bandwagon. That's if me get the chance to do some something before me need to move and do something else. We'll see how it all works out. So many times we hear people talking about the safety and security in Jamaica. And when you try to explain to them how much crime has decreased over the last couple of years, they go back and make reference to the fact that there are grill bars or burglar bars or security bars that are on the homes, that are on the windows or on the doors, as though this is something that is only commonplace in Jamaica. We've done a video on here where I've talked about it extensively. However, for a shortened form of it, grill bars exist on homes across the globe wherever people were colonized by the Europeans, because the Europeans, when they were in their big plantation homes and their big mansions, they put these on their houses for their own safety and security, because whilst they were up there and their subjects lowly were down there, they were afraid that they might come into their properties and rob them and steal their things, especially post emancipation. And so this is something that is commonplace. If you go to Southeast Asia, it's there. If you go to India, it's there. If you go to the African continent, it's there. If you go to South America, it's there. And in the Caribbean islands, you'll find it as well. And it used to be in America. However, now it's not a commonplace there. And in Europe, you find it in areas where they are prone to wildlife, or in business places. In Europe and in North America, you'll find it in those places. So it's still commonplace. And people use it, one, for safety and security, because you find that in Jamaica, once people get to a certain social class or status, back in the day, they would do that. They would put it on, and it became a popular thing back in the 80s when there was some political unrest happening in the country. And so people would do that as a sense of their security, to make sure that they feel safe and they feel secure. And that's one aspect of why people do it. Over time, it just simply became a status symbol, and people put it on because they've arrived to a certain status where they're able to afford it, and where people will be able to feel that they're safe with their possessions that they now have, and other people will try to come in on them for it. However, we know that with the rise of technology and everything else, people are looking at different ways in which they are securing their places. And so more recent developments in gated communities and certain subdivisions, you'll find that people don't have that anymore. Instead, they have more high-tech and more technologically advanced security systems that they put in their property to give them a sense of safety and security in their environment. However, you find that people will still use it, especially on windows, on low level, because people are leaving their windows open, and because of ventilation. And so as a result of that, it's something that continues in hotter countries, because when you open your window, you want to be sure that nothing and no one has access to come through the windows when you want fresh air, especially in the summer months when it's hot and you need the airflow through your property. And so people need to get to a place where they understand it, because when people say that that's a sign to show that Jamaica isn't safe and people don't feel secure, it highlights a sense of ignorance in how this process has evolved and the many different ways in which it's used.
The Jamaican family, where I living the good life, we're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. The Jam Fam family, Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. We want to say thank you for spending your time with us, and we want to say bye for now. Do take care, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. And until then, remember, what would